Or he was, didn't he go through some kind of misery? Search and rescue teams sift through what's left of an Amtrak train. Terrified passengers described the moment they knew something went horribly wrong.
And a horrific crash in Gilroy sends a car flying. Only the driver made it out alive out of this mangled Mustang.
Preparing for the Bay Area's next big earthquake, PG&E is making sure its employees are ready. We have the story.
The news at noon is next.
From the CBS Bay Area studios, this is KPIX 5 News.
Tragedy in Philadelphia. An Amtrak train flies off the rails. Hundreds are rushed to the hospital. 7 people are dead, and crews are searching through the mangled wreckage for victims. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Michelle Griego.
Hi, everyone. I'm Frank Malika. We begin with that developing news. Sources say speed is likely a factor in that deadly crash of that Amtrak train. Authorities say the engineer at the controls has lawyered up and isn't talking to police right now. CBS's Craig Boswell spoke with some passengers who managed to escape the crash unharmed.
Crews are starting to move debris off the tracks in Philadelphia, where an Amtrak train traveling to New York City derailed on a curve. One train car is mangled, others are on their sides or turned over.
We're going to go and very methodically start collecting information. What was the train speed? What was the speed limit on that curve?
Keep crawling, okay? Where am I crawling to?
Passengers described chaos as they tried to make their way out of the mangled wreckage.
This is a nightmare. I saw so many head injuries and, bloody faces, and, people were really injured. They were thrown out of their seats.
More than 200 passengers were taken to hospitals, many with broken bones. At least 8 are critically injured.
When we finally stopped, and I knew that I was no longer being kind of thrown around, and I tasted dirt. I never tasted so lovely in my life. Just to know that you're fine.
Federal investigators have located the train's black boxes and will take a close look at the data, including how fast the train was moving.
We're looking at the track, the train signals, the operation of the train, the mechanical condition of the train, human performance.
All Amtrak service on the busy rail between New York and Philadelphia is suspended until crews can clear the tracks. Craig Boswell, CBS News, Philadelphia.
That train had a video camera in its front end that could give clues to exactly what happened. In a statement, President Obama said he is offering prayers to the families who lost loved ones and the passengers beginning to recover.
We're learning more about the man arrested in a suspected DUI crash that killed 4 people near Gilroy. KPIX 5 reporter Kit Doe has more on the crash and what's left of the suspect's car.
It was a black 1997 Ford Mustang, and last night before 11 o'clock, it was headed eastbound on Leavesley Road just outside Gilroy. The CHP says the driver was speeding when he approached the curve and lost control. A neighbor heard the crash. Even though the wreck was nowhere to be found, he called 911 anyway. Officers arriving on scene found their biggest clue, a set of skid marks that led them right off the road where they found the car resting 50 feet down a drainage ditch. The car actually went airborne.
Yes, it did. Once it went off the roadway, it hit part of the canal bank over there. That made the vehicle go airborne, and it actually overturned in the air. 4 people died. The driver, 23-year-old Anthony Imbranoni III, survived. He was airlifted to Regional Medical Center in San Jose with major injuries that were not life-threatening. He was unconscious at the time, but after he woke up, the CHP arrested him on suspicion of drunk driving. Near Gilroy, Kit Doe, KPIX5.
The CHP says one of the victims was a 24-year-old man from Gilroy. 2 others were 18-year-old women from Gilroy. The CHP has not released any more information about the last female passenger.
Big brawl in San Francisco caught on tape. It was between a group of skaters and art vendors. It happened last Friday at the Justin Herman Plaza. A witness started filming it on her cell phone. It looks like there was a scuffle between 2 groups of skateboarders, and then when the artists tried to intervene, it turned into an all-out brawl. Punches were thrown, and at one point, art easels were used as weapons. 4 people were injured before police arrived and stopped it.
A search for more victims continues in Nepal after the latest devastating earthquake in that region. Crews are digging out of collapsed buildings today after a 7.3 magnitude quake shook the country yesterday. Among the missing are 6 U.S. Marines aboard a military chopper. It disappeared after the pilot reported fuel problems. Hundreds of people are sleeping in tents waiting for supplies. And yesterday in Japan, a 6.8 magnitude quake struck the same region devastated back in 2011 by an earthquake and tsunami. The Japan Meteorological Agency said the latest quake was actually an aftershock to the 2011 9.0 magnitude earthquake. And back here in the Bay Area, several big faults are a concern for earthquakes. A small swarm of quakes shook the Concord Green Valley Fault this month. And as KPIX5's Ann Makovic reports, PG&E is preparing for a big one on the San Andreas Fault.
This is a big part of PG&E's 2-day training exercise. It's called the Big Shaker, and it simulates a 7.5 magnitude earthquake, because we all know it's not a question of if, it's a question of when.
Earthquake like shaking expected in 8 seconds.
This is the brain of PG&E's emergency response to a Bay Area earthquake in a full-scale drill simulating a 7.2 magnitude shaker on the San Andreas Fault as the company fine-tunes its plan for a major quake.
For us, these type of emergency situations are all hands on deck.
This is video of PG&E crews on the job after last summer's Napa quake. Their first concern, natural gas leaks and downed power lines. Then it's all about getting the systems back to normal.
All our gas transmission lines that cross the San Andreas Fault are well known in advance, and we simulate those things and harden infrastructure where we have a great seismic risk.
The company wants its employees to be prepared so they can get to work as quickly as possible. And part of the drill is going old school via radios in case all of our tech tools go down.
This is about getting folks, our crews, into the affected areas the quickest.
Tomorrow, PG&E's training exercises move to Daly City and San Jose. In San Francisco, Ann Makovic, KPIX5.
Millions of fish are struggling to survive rising water temperatures in California. Environmentalists are blaming the drought. Workers at the Department of Fish and Wildlife are installing an elaborate water cooling system at one of their locations so those fish can survive. Terry Okita takes us inside a state hatchery near Sacramento.
These trout, jumping at a hatchery in California, could become casualties of the drought. The long dry spell is making the water too warm for the trout, salmon, and steelhead raised at 24 California hatcheries. Wildlife officials have been forced to release millions of trout and salmon into rivers, lakes, and streams months earlier than normal.
We didn't have any choice. We had to get the fish out, otherwise they would have died.
State officials are now installing a $1.5 million cooling system in this hatchery in Sacramento County. It's the first of its kind in the state and will keep the water cool enough for the fish to survive.
Having this chiller, we'll be able to keep fish in the hatchery building so we won't have to evacuate all the small fish. So it's going to help a lot.
The fish are used to restock waterways for recreational fishing. Without them, local economies could lose hundreds of millions of dollars.
There's a lot of people that go up there just to catch the trout that we plant in those streams. And if we stop planting them, you know, the money just stops.
Other hatcheries in the state are now on the list to get their own cooling systems to try to keep the next generation of fish alive. Terry Okita for CBS News, Sacramento County.
Biologists have also had to explore new waterways to stock because the water levels at some rivers and lakes are just too low. American River Trout Hatchery's chiller is expected to open up and running by the end of June. Well, brown is the new green at golf courses around the state. Some golf courses are replacing their lawns for cash rebates. Many cities are offering up to $3 a square foot for turf. Owners of the courses are trying to be proactive instead of seeing what a 25% cut of water use will mean for their golfing business.
A PG&E gas pipeline in San Carlos is undergoing emergency repairs. Pipeline 147 runs between Interstate 280 and El Camino Real. It provides gas for more than 600,000 homes and businesses. Last week, workers discovered 2 bulges or dents in a section of the pipeline near Tasker Lane. The 84-year-old transmission line is now shut down. A couple of years ago, emails from a former PG&E engineer questioned the safety of Pipeline 147. One email suggested it could be another San Bruno situation, referring to the gas line explosion that killed 8 people in 2010.
The EPA is shining a spotlight on Bay Area nail salons that are trying to provide safer working conditions as EPA officials stop by Diva Nails. This is in Oakland today. It's one of about 50 salons in California that have joined the Healthy Nail Salon Collaborative. That means they're using less toxic products, better protection, and reducing chemical odors. It's all part of an effort to rid nail salons of toxic environments that pose health problems for their workers.
The Healthy Nail Salon program really focuses on key criteria, one being utilization of safer products that don't have key toxic chemicals.
That is great progress. That tells me that people in this community care.
The Healthy Nail Salon Collaborative says it hopes the model it has established will expand to other nail salons here in the Bay Area.
Whether you're a weeknight wine sipper or a weekend partier, you've most likely woken up with a hangover before. The on-demand service to stop all that suffering.
And tomorrow is Bike to Work Day. How the weather could put a little damper on the morning commute.
And everyone keeps saying to me, are you sure it's not going to rain today? I'm sure. So I'll tell you exactly when to expect those raindrops as the news continues right here on KPIX 5.
Partying a little too hard can lead to regret the next morning, including the dreaded hangover. Water, aspirin, and thyme can ease the headaches, nausea, and weakness, but now a new company is promising a much faster remedy. Allison Harmelin reports from New York.
Richard Hottinger and his friend Kyle Shanek were the life of the party last night when they hit a trendy New York City nightclub. But this morning, the party is definitely over.
How were you feeling this morning?
Bad. Yeah, real hangover.
Instead of reaching for aspirin, Richard used a new app that brought help straight to his door.
Nice to meet you.
The nurse works for the Hangover Club.
Any headache?
Yep.
Starting at $175, you get an IV filled with fluids to rehydrate and medicine to ease headaches and nausea. The medical director for the Hangover Club is Dr. Maurice Beer. Yes, beer.
It is ironic, but pure coincidence.
Dr. Beer says many of their clients are busy professionals who don't want a hangover to slow them down. The IV works much faster than drinking fluids.
And literally within half an hour, they're feeling better. They're ready to tackle the day, and they feel as good as new.
Hottinger, who sells real estate for a living, felt the effects quickly.
It's amazing. It's just, honestly, it brings you right back. It's like it never happened.
There are several companies out there who offer hydration therapy to treat hangovers. But CBS News chief medical correspondent John LaPook says if an IV is injected improperly, it can cause infections and swelling.
You can just drink a fluid and rehydrate yourself. It's inexpensive, it's safe, and to me, that's the way to go if you have a severe hangover.
Then there's the easiest way to avoid a hangover.
Maybe you should drink a little less?
Yeah, it's true, but you know, it's when you get carried away.
Allison Harmelin for CBS News, New York.
Or as Roberta and I said, bowl of menudo works too. Hangover Club says its nurses are trained to spot signs of alcohol abuse and will turn down a customer they believe needs counseling.
I don't know, if you got to go to an app to get rid of a hangover and have a stranger come in and hook up an IV, you might have a bigger problem.
You may just need to go easy on the drinks.
They want to take it off a little bit. Okay, trending now, bike to work day. Cyclists will be battling a light rain in the morning commute. This video from Walnut Creek from last Thursday when it started sprinkling a bit. Not too much rain is expected to come down, but cyclists should be extra careful on the slippery roads. Of all days, it'll be coming tomorrow. For more information on how you can join in on the Bay Area's Bike to Work Day, go to cbssf.com/bike.
And we know you're an avid cyclist, Roberta. Are you going to bike to work tomorrow?
Oh, sure. I'll just leave my house at 1:30 in the morning to be here by 3. You know, I had somebody come up to me and say, okay, if it's raining, do you guys, cyclists, do you wear your raincoat? Oh, yeah, we wear our galoshes, too. No, cyclists know what to do if it's going to rain tomorrow. They'll wear their windbreaker and they'll watch out for the slippery conditions. Let's take a look at the conditions outside right now, according to our weather watchers. Let's check this one out right there. 69 degrees. That would be Charlie Rains. How convenient is that? Because it's going to rain. Charlie Rains checking in with us. He says in Vallejo there's some sunshine. Really, Charlie? Okay, I'm trusting you on that one because right now in the Bay Area, across the Bay, we are seeing nothing but mostly cloudy skies. It's layer after layer of clouds rolling in. We have a combination of the onshore flow. We also have some mid and high level clouds, all associated with the disturbance off the west coast. Temperatures currently in the 50s and 60s. It's currently 58 degrees in Oakland. Wind speeds, it's breezy, but certainly not as windy as 24 hours ago. 12-mile-per-hour winds in Hayward, 14 San Ramon, also 14-mile-per-hour winds. It appears to be windier east of the bay than it does to be around the peninsula at this hour. This is really impressive. I got to get out of the way so you can get a good look at this. This is an area of low pressure. The core is still way out here, pretty much due west of the Bay Area. We have the wraparound moisture. If we see a shower today, it's one of those renegade showers running an advancement of this low, but for the most part, this area of low pressure will push in after midnight, bringing us widely scattered showers for our Thursday. Then look what's queuing up there. For Monday, the potential of more rain right here in the Bay Area. But let's walk you through today's forecast. Here you go with our futurecast. 6 o'clock, rain well to the north of the Bay Area. Then here you go tomorrow morning's commute. The showers appear to be more moderate as far as when they're falling, more moderate rainfall, and that will occur during that morning commute. And in the afternoon hours, we have that chance of a thunderstorm. So how much rain? It looks like we could see up to about 4/10 of an inch of rain, maybe 8/10 of an inch of rain in the wettest locations of the Santa Cruz Mountains, but that's about it. We do have a winter storm watch in effect for the western slopes, up to 6 inches of snow. 8/11 is sundown, and by then we will have temperatures easily into the 50s and 60s. Extended forecasts, it's a dry weekend.
But we get snow.
Yeah, snow in the western slopes up to 6 inches, and all those people that have all those resorts are going, why now?
Exactly.
You said that
Why
fast.
All right. Well, let's take a live look now at the big board and see how the market is doing. The Dow is down about 2 points.
Wow.
3.
Weekday.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, Facebook unveils a new way to get news. The program is called Instant Article. It's host articles on their webpage instead of linking to another news source. Facebook says they're integrated articles and they'll load 10 times faster. National Geographic and the New York Times partnered up with Facebook to host their content directly on people's news feeds.
The need for healthcare professionals is rapidly increasing. New career options in the medical field.
Yeah, we're counting down to the end of The Late Show with David Letterman. There it is, 6 more shows to go. Tonight's guests, Julia Roberts, Paul Schaefer, and Ryan Adams. You can catch Letterman right after the KPIX 5 News at 11 tonight. And we'll be right back, too. If you are a mango lover, we've got some good news. They're in peak season right now. Even better, we have some tips on picking the perfect one. Here's Tony Tantillo on all things mango.
Well, today's tip of the day is going to be with mangoes. I love mangoes. The gates have opened up for Mexico. The mangoes are coming in trailers, big sizes, great prices, and you can't beat it. Did you know mangoes? There's over 1,000 varieties of mangoes around the world, and it's the #1 consumed produce item in the world. Bananas in the U.S., but mangoes everywhere. Let's talk about selection and storage. When you buy them, beautiful color like this all the way around, free from any shrilling whatsoever. Not give it a little bit of a touch like this, a little bit of a give, not too much. When you bring them home, all tropical fruit, always store them on the counter, never ever store them in the refrigerator. And they are superfood, loaded, I mean loaded with nutritional value. Mangoes, you know what? I love this stuff, especially in a mango salsa. And I'm Tony Tantillo, your fresh go-to. Always remember to eat fresh and stay healthy.
In today's jobs report, Jill Schlesinger looks at the growing demand for nurses.
It's National Nurses Week, an opportunity to highlight this rapidly growing field.
With chronic conditions on the rise, higher demand for healthcare services from baby boomers, and an increased focus on preventative care, the need for registered nurses has jumped. Employment of RNs is projected to grow by 19% in the next 7 years, faster than the average for all occupations. Salaries are also expected to rise. Nurses here in the Bay Area earn a median annual wage of nearly $125,000. Many employers also offer flexible work schedules. About 20% of RNs work part-time, as well as childcare, educational benefits, and bonuses. There are 3 education paths you can take towards becoming a nurse: a bachelor's degree in nursing, an associate's degree in nursing, or a diploma from an approved nursing program. Students take plenty of hardcore science classes and must have supervised clinical experience after meeting state licensing requirements. After all of that education, at least nurses can find jobs quickly and job satisfaction is high. I'm Jill Schlesinger for KPIX 5.
Coming up tonight at 5, Starbucks cards hacked. Now there's new concerns about those automatic reload accounts, the creative way thieves are stealing your money. That story, much more coming up tonight at 5 o'clock.
All right, well, that's going to do it for KPIX 5 News at noon.
Yay, I got a days game to get to right now.
There you go.
You do.
Play
the Sox.
Sonny Gray on the mound for the good guys. Every weather girl loves the name Sonny Gray.
Well, of course. Do you have your green and gold ready?
I do. It's over there in the makeup room.
Okay,
And what time's it going to start raining tomorrow?
Tomorrow morning, by the morning commute, very light and scattered.
Spritzing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, have a great afternoon, everyone.
See you, everybody.